Hi, Lindsay. Thank you so much for joining us today in the legendary AOL Session studio for our Build Music series. Before we get to your much anticipated performance, I want to start by telling everyone about your statistics, basically your huge numbers when it comes to social media and YouTube. So on YouTube, you have over 5 million subscribers and almost 700 million video views. Your most recent album, Shatter Me, debuted on April 29th on Billboard Top 200 charts at #1 on iTunes and is still holding strong at #1 on both the classical album chart and the dance/electronic chart, where it's been for over 10 weeks. So on Twitter, you have 300,000 followers, and Facebook, 2.7 million likes. So those are really impressive numbers, and I'm sure everyone here would agree. But what I really want to know is if you could share with us how you kind of created a genre and you took it to the top of the charts without the help of a record label. What advice would you have for someone else who has such an unconventional idea and wants to make it as successful as yours was?
Oh man, that's a big question. You know, I think the beautiful thing about the way the world is today is that I think the new model is this kind of world of a self-made artists. You know, you can put your art out there for everyone to see with the click of a mouse and just by, you know, all the tools are available, video editing software, music software, I mean, it's all there. And I originally went the traditional route and I tried so hard to get anyone to take my music, and I get being told over and over again that I was too outside the box. And then I discovered YouTube. YouTube was what was my path to success, and I was so excited that here was finally a place where I didn't have to wait for someone else to tell me, you're ready, okay, you're good enough, oh, you fit in. You know, no, I didn't have to change anything about who I was, and I could do it myself, my own way, and I could do it now. I didn't have to wait.
Right, and I know that you're also, it's hard to believe that you have free time, but in your free time, you're a motivational speaker. And we here at AOL have an initiative called Built by Girls, where, you know, we're encouraging young women, I mean young people in general, but young women to pursue their dreams and take their talents and put them out there for everyone to see. And so what would you say to, for example, the 5 young women we have in the front row who are building our website, Cambio? What would you say to someone like them who, you know, they might not be the cookie cutter talent, but they're pursuing it anyway?
I love that. You know, I think the biggest thing that has always, my whole life, something that's really bothered me is that people have been put into categories. And, you know, I don't feel like if you want to be a dancer, who says you have to be shaped a certain way, or if you want to be an athlete that you have to be this height. Like, everyone is so diverse, everyone has different likes, different interests, different talents and looks, and I think that's what makes the world an amazing place. And I got told over and over again that I didn't fit this box, and that's why I would never be successful. And yet, you know, I would just, you're too different is what everyone said. And now people, I mean, it blows my mind that people travel from all over the world to come to our shows. And the reason they say they came is because you're just so different. I had to see it. And I just think it's so ironic that the very reason I was told I would never succeed is the reason that I am able to live my dreams. And so in every way possible, like, don't ever let anyone tell you who you should be and if you're good enough or what you should look like or what you should do, because that's what makes the world a beautiful place, is when you're doing the things that make you you.
And I know that you originally, when you were 6 years old, had to decide between violin and dance, correct? Because yes. It was, you know, you had to choose one or the other, your parents said. So when did you decide that you could actually, you didn't have to choose one, you could pursue both? And what kind of reaction did you get?
It was actually, I was doing talent competitions to earn money for college, and there was so many violinists in this competition, and they were all playing beautiful classical pieces, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, we're all about at the same level. What can I do to possibly be different? And I just realized I didn't want to just impress the audience and the judges. I wanted to entertain. I wanted to make people smile. So I started incorporating movement with this funky music that I started writing that would inspire movement, and I fell in love with it because I could feel the energy, I could feel the smiles, and I was like, I have to get good at this. I'm not very good yet, but I have to learn how to do this so I can make this my life.
And people welcomed that. Obviously, from the numbers, people have welcomed that genre.
Yeah, I mean, you look at my first videos, and I don't know why they welcomed it. They're so funny and awkward looking. I mean, I thought I was rocking it, but looking back at that, I'm like, wow, I'm so awkward. Like, look at my legs. You know, and I think on America's Got Talent, I remember I was heartbroken when I got kicked off the show, and I got told a lot of very mean things. And then, you know, I considered giving up this whole dancing violinist thing because that was humiliating. But then I watched the tapes and I thought, yeah, they're right. I could be better. And that doesn't mean I need to quit. It just means I need to work harder so that no one can ever say that to me again. And I think that's with anything. You know, you're not going to be perfect when you start.
Right. And I mean, you touched upon that in a recent Ad Week feature that you did, but you also said that the internet helped you know, the internet translates everywhere, and that it helped you build up your talent and let the world see what you can do and accept this genre as something, you know, phenomenal. And so we at AOL love hearing that the internet translates everywhere. So
It does.
Can you explain a little more about how you found that to be the case with your music?
Yeah, I mean, I love it because my music, most of it doesn't have lyrics in it, and so it's really, truly amazing that I remember actually being really frustrated when I first started because I was like, I had this random fan base where I was like, I could go to any country in the world and 5 people would show up to hear me play because people were like, where's your hub? Start where your hub is, you know, do shows there. But I was like, I could be in my hometown or in Japan and 5 people would show up. But it was amazing because then these little pockets started to spiderweb, and now literally I can go anywhere in the world and play a show and people will come. And you know, these aren't just people, they are my support. I mean, I love all these people so much, and because of the internet allows you to have such a personal connection with your fans. Like, I comment right back to them. I talk to them directly on their phones. And so, I mean, it's like it's a very close relationship, and I have the most supportive fans all over the world. It's incredible.
And I know that on your internet, you know, your internet fan base is very supportive of the fact that you collaborate with all these different artists. Would you mind talking about, you know, what your favorite collaboration has been, or, you know, whether you prefer collaborating with artists to creating your own music? Like, what has been your experience with that?
I, in general, just love to collaborate because I think, you know, it inspires you in a new way when you work with someone new, because you start to see their thought process, their artistic process. Everyone is so different, and I love that because every time I work with a different person, it creates a completely different body of work. One of my favorite ones I've ever done was, I loved working with some guys called the Piano Guys. It's a cellist and a pianist that just do amazing classical crossover covers of pop songs, and they're so much fun. And I loved working with them because they have a very similar story to mine. They're dads with, you know, they think they each have like 5 kids or something. And yet they always wanted to do music, and finally now they're in their 40s and they found YouTube and they're finally able to do music. And so they're just so passionate about what they do, and like they're like kids in a candy store about it.
Yeah, they're really popular too. I've seen them. They're very impressive, as are you. But how was it to work with, this is probably a selfish question, because every time I listen to this song... I know what you're going to say. John Legend. Yes. That song, all of me, I can't watch a video without tearing up. So what was it like to work with him, most recently?
It was awesome. He is so nice and just very down to earth. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect. You know, this is John Legend. And I was so nervous because... his team let me do the video. They let me produce it, direct it, edit it, and so I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, what if something goes wrong?
Yeah, they wanted your style
video, they were
correct?
like, we want this, you know, it's going to go on your channel, so we want it to be your vision, your style, your way. So I was like, oh wow, okay. I was really glad his manager told me this, and it was kind of cool. He's like, just so you know, John is so chill. So it's not that he's not excited, but this is John when he's like thrilled. He'll be like, yeah, man. He's like, and this is John when he's furious. I don't know, man. And so I was like, oh, I'm really glad he told me that. Otherwise, I would have been like biting my nails all the time. Like, I think he's really bored. He's really bored, but he's just chill.
So that video was all your vision, you know, on the rooftop?
Yeah, it was so pretty. It turned out so pretty.
It was so beautiful.
I get so excited when I have an idea that actually turns out exactly like I wanted it to, and that was one.
I'm sure they were very happy with it too. Well, I know everyone's excited to see you perform. So I'm not going to waste any more time, and I'll let you take it away.
All right. Thank you.